Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're doing a little bit of a fill-in project today. This is a mower I've had in the back for a while. It's part of a group buy, I guess you would call it. There was a truckload of stuff that I ended up picking up. This is one of the push mowers. We're just gonna give it a little bit of lipstick and eye heels and make it run nice and go over it and make sure that it's good to go. And it's going to be a resale project for the spring. These mowers aren't push mowers are not worth a lot of money in the used market, but I didn't pay much for it, so we're just going to put a couple of bucks into it and get it nice for the next owner. What we're working on today is a Craftsman 190cc. It's a platinum, so this was a higher end version at the time. It's got Briggs and Stratton on it. Steel deck. It's not too bad. It's not rotted through anywhere. A little flaky rust underneath. We're going to clean that up and oil spray it. A little preliminary look over. Oil is dark. There's no metallic in it, so we should be fine there. Motor's not giving up. It does turn over. I pull it with a pull start, works just fine. The blade's a bit of a mess, rusty and dull. It's got an old Champion in it. We're going to change that out. Mostly oxidized paint. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to sand this down. I'm going to spray paint it, make it look good. It's got a 3-in-1, so it's got this is your mulching door. If you want a side discharge, you just snap this little chute in there, and then holds it together. Or rear bagger, it's got the option. I don't have a bag for it, so that's not going to be an option for us. Take a little Scotch-Brite maybe and clean this up. We're going to give her a paint job. The wheels are worn. See, they're leaning in, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tweak these brackets so when the weight's on it, these are actually straight, look a lot better. We're probably going to take all the hardware off. It's winter time here. There's not all kinds of stuff going on, so I'm going to take all the hardware off. We're going to paint this hardware black. We're going to paint all our adjusters black. I might go over the handles. Cable's broken. I do have a new one. Just a little bit of tip. Usually, there are numbers on these cables. Just gotta get to focus, but usually there's numbers somewhere on the cable. So you can look them up by that number. There's lots of interchanges. It's a nice, it's got the large wheels in the back and small in the front. Makes it very easy to push and very easy to turn. Like I said, this was a high-end mower at the time. Craftsman always made good stuff. Well, they didn't make it, obviously. They purchased it to their specs, but they always spec'd up good stuff. Their lawn tractors were usually made by AYP instead of MTD. A little bit higher quality there. It's got a unique system in the fuel. I mean, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it before. It's called Fresh Start. So what it is inside here, this little cartridge contains fuel stabilizer. And over time it would drip into the fuel. Well, this little cartridge, I might be able to get it out one hand. Maybe. A little tiny, there we go. So I had a little foil on top. Get some focus here. I had a little foil on top. When you press it in there, there's two little, you can see them at the top and the bottom there. There's two little cutters that cut that foil. It allows the stabilizer to drip out. Well, this is long empty. I won't be replacing it. If somebody wants to find a cartridge for it, I haven't even seen them for sale. They're probably still available, but I haven't seen them. If somebody wants to find a cartridge, they can do it. But it's got fuel in it. It smells old. So we'll be draining that, cleaning it out. I'm sure the carburetor needs to come apart. Looks kind of old and crusty under there. Yeah, we're going to clean all that junk out of there. Anyways, we'll get you in the stand, get some tools set up here. We're going to pull this one screw, come out. This should come off. We'll pull the air cleaner off. We'll get the carburetor apart. And we'll get going. Let's see what kind of paint I've got. Might go something bright. Maybe yellow. Hang on, guys. Well, let's see what we have going on in here. We're going to get this little cover off. Get the air filter out. The air cleaner off, and we'll get to the carburetor and see what's kind of state that's in. Oh, hornet's nest. Good size one too. I'm gonna pull the top cover off that, I think, eventually anyways. Oh, I'll do it right now. A couple of Phillips screws. Get that out of there. Looks like just 2 screws. Yeah, it should fly right off there. Here we go. Stay. See our hornet's nest there. Looks like they've been evicted. Oh, that's a goopy mess in there. That's the governor, and something's awful clumpy in there. Not moving very smoothly, so I'll end up taking the top cover off this too. See what's going on under there. That's got to work smoothly, or else it's not gonna. Or else it won't work right. Oh, that's been in there for a couple of days. I think we might. Replace that. Yeah. Oh, that stinks like old gas now. Fuel in the tank doesn't smell that bad, but the fuel that's been dribbling out of the carburetor here certainly does. Alright, I'll get an 8 mil, get that off. Another one here. Should be a vent tube there too. Yep, there it is. Right there, it just kind of pops into the back of the cover. Some covers like this, machines that have a primer bulb in the front, this gasket is incredibly important because the primer actually works through the gasket. If the gasket is not really good, they don't prime very well. I'm dealing with an issue. I've got a 22-inch string trimmer outside there that's giving me grief. Doesn't want to run right. Let's get just zoomed in on the carburetor. That's a disaster. Can you focus? That goopy looking green stuff is not good. Definitely needs a bath in the ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, okay. Gather some more tools. We'll get that carburetor off there, and we'll get it in the ultrasonic. Okay, so I got a little bit deeper in. I pinched off the fuel hose with some needle nose vice grips, so it wouldn't spill all over. There's about a half tank in there. I removed 3 screws from the top, 1 bolt from the side, and the entire tank lifted off. And I'll put it over on the bench. We'll drain it, clean it out later. I had to pull the recoil cord through it. So let's get to that carburetor and get that off of there. There's a metal bracket in behind here. That's behind the carburetor, so that's okay. We'll take the 2 bolts out of the carburetor here and this one off of the linkage. I think it's 1/4. It's close enough. Sometimes this binds up and gets corrosion around it and the arm doesn't spin very nice, so we're going to clean all that up anyways, run it on a wire brush. It's on a shoulder here. It's rather stiff, so this is old grease. We're going to get rid of that. Maybe put some lithium in there. Lithium grease. So that's loose. I don't think we'll be able to get it out. I think there's something underneath here that's binding that arm up, so we'll get under there and get that off of there too. So, we'll get the carburetor bolts off. One. Two. Carburetor should lift away and we'll tilt it to get the linkage disconnected off the Z bend of the arm there. There we go. Oh yeah, it's stanky old gas. O-ring on this side. This is the intake pipe. It feels kind of loose. We'll check that out when we're in there. Maybe there's an O-ring burned up in it. Well, that carb certainly stinks. We'll get a spot on the bench cleared up, get this torn down, and drop it in the ultrasonic. And tell right away there's this little jet here is clogged up. That's a mess. Alright, pop that on the bench for now. We'll take this lid off now. That way we can get into it and see what's going on. What do we need for that? 5/16 for the dipstick. Not going to pull it out. I'm just going to turn it. Hopefully. I don't know, I can't. There we go. I just lifted it a little bit. I don't want the oil to get... If it's over full, sometimes it'll come out that dipstick hole. If it's very full. And get another adapter. We'll use a little impact. We'll take the cover off. .3/8 here. That's that plate that was mounted behind the carburetor. Should be good. We'll leave it just like that. 3/8 there. And 3/8 here. Another one here. Should be all. Top cover should pop up now. Mostly. It's full of water. Yeah, there's a little bit of mouse nest in there. It's an automatic choke. I'll pull the camera out of there and show you in a bit. Might actually have to mount the carburetor back there and get this back on where it was so I could see where it was catching. I think it was sitting on top of the coil there. Yeah, there's some fluffies in there. Always good to have that. If it's been sitting a while, especially if it's out in the backfield somewhere, it's always good to check that out to make sure there's no mouse nest in there. It can cause an overheat. So this intake tube goes across the front of the motor here, and it's actually bolted down, and it's loose. There's a couple of 1/4-inch bolts that are holding that intake tube, but they're loose. Might be able to tighten them. I might have to take it out. Might have to take them out and see if there's an O-ring that's bad in there. Grab my 1/4-inch socket here. See if we can just give them a little bit of a twist. And ratchet. They're pretty loose actually. They're tighter now. It's quite possible that was an intake leak, a vacuum leak at the intake. You can see that there's marks on the magnets here from where it passes the flywheel, so... Oh no, that's for the brake. That's the engine brake. I'm going to clean those magnets anyways, and we're going to gap that coil. It's only 2 bolts, just do it while we're in here. The stand that I've got the mower on actually kind of hits the blade, so it's hard to turn the thing around. Yeah. I'll block that with my thumb and get the blowgun in here and clean all that out. Alright, hang on. Okay, so I put my thumb over the intake, I blew all the fuzziness out of there, and I decided to see what was making the governor arm, or this arm, the throttle arm, bind up. There's nothing rubbing underneath. It's actually in the carburetor butterfly itself. I'll remove this and I can actually feel it in here. So hopefully the ultrasonic cleaner will take care of that. Get rid of that mess. But while we're here, we're close. I already cleaned I sanded the loose rust off of this. So we're going to get that magnet set right over there by the coil. We're going to loosen the 2 1/4-inch bolts. And we're going to set the gap on that coil. Quite simple to do. Get you lined up here a little better. You just loosen the bolts on the coil. Non-adjustable, this one. It slid a little bit. That magnet is rather strong. Couldn't pull it off the coil there for a sec. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Let's take a regular business card. I happen to have these. Slide it in there between the magnet and the coil. Let the coil find its own home. Snug the screws back down. The magnet of the flywheel will pull the coil in where it needs to go. Don't go crazy tight on these. They're little tiny screws. You can break them off and then you're do a lot more work. There we go. The gap is perfect. It's exactly the way it should be. That noise you hear is the blade underneath on the table, the stand that's holding the machine up. But yep, the gap's perfect. Okay, we'll get that carburetor back off. Ultrasonic cleaner is already warming up. And we'll get the carb to the bench, strip it down and dunk it in there and let it have its carburetor bath for a while. This day at the spa. And we'll see how it goes. That intake tube, the 2 bolts I tightened up on the other side, that fixed the problem over here, so that'll work just fine now. Won't be a vacuum leak on the intake. That will definitely make it run wrong. Anyways. Alright, we'll get the bench cleared off over there. We'll get a paper towel down. We'll start tearing this carburetor apart. I'll get you popped in on a stand over there. Okay, so where we're at now is I've got the carb together, got it on the mower. Get some close-up shots here. So the arm that was binding, come on, focus. The arm that was binding is now nice and free. It was bound up on the actual throttle linkage in the carburetor. So I've got that on there. Put everything back together on the top. I did drain the fuel tank out. That's got a little splash of fresh ethanol-free fuel in it. The cable that runs up to the handle is zip tied. I do have a cable in stock for it, but I wasn't going to put it on there until I find out if the rest of the mower works okay. So what I'll do is I'll put an air filter in there. I'll put the cover on it. We'll fire it up. I want to, well, if it runs, we'll get it fired up. I want to use a tachometer to make sure that the RPM is correct, and if it isn't, I'll adjust it. I'm just going to bend the little tab here on the spring to either increase or decrease the speed. Make sure it's revving up speed it should be, about 3600. And if it all goes well, we'll let it warm up, we'll change the oil, we'll sharpen the blade, and then it'll be done, ready for resale in the spring. So hold tight, we'll get some action going here and get you back on. Okay, let's see if this thing will fire up. Got a new spark plug in there, gapped, torque. I got the brake and the shut off lever zip tight, just as if I'm holding the handle. Again, the cable is broken. This is all good. I got a brand new air filter in there, so let's see if she fires up. Good enough. $3,300 RPM is good enough for me. It was spinning quite slow at the beginning, and that's not good. It won't cut very well at all. So, anyways, that's nice. Runs good. Runs good. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to take the blade off and probably unbolt the engine. Probably take the engine out of there. I'm going to sand the deck down. I'm going to paint it. Paint all the little pieces of trim, put it back together, and it'll sit in the shed ready for sale in the spring. But that's not a bad little unit. Like I said, I bought it with a truckload of stuff. It was one of the push mowers that came in the truckload, so we'll get everything cleaned up and make it look nice and purty. Give her some lipstick and high heels. Make it look a little nicer. And go from there. Oh, I'll change that cable out. That's quite simple. This cable here. This clips in the bar here. Z band goes into this arm. Comes down here. Z band goes into this arm. And that's it. Runs pretty good. Alright guys, not too in-depth this one, rather simple. Everything checked out okay. We're going to change the oil, get that all cleaned up, ready to go. And yeah, thanks for joining me. If you like my videos, please click the like button, shoot me a comment, let me know what you're thinking. See if there's anything you can request, something I might come up with in the future. Leave some type of comment, that'd be much appreciated. Please subscribe, and if you do, don't forget to click the bell icon, that way you will get notified when I post new videos. Until the next one guys, take care, and we'll see you later. Hey guys, so this is how this one ended up. I had yellow in stock, so I painted it yellow. Just cleaned it up a little bit, give her a little bit of lipstick and high heels. Made sure everything was greased and the oil's changed and everything's good. It's got a brand new spark plug in there, brand new air filter. Just got to paint the handlebars, throw a quick cable on there, and this one's ready for resale in the spring. This one's going to go pretty cheap. It's a decent machine, but it's not self-propelled. It's just a push mower. So, anyways, that'll be the end of this video. Thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, don't forget to click the thumbs up, give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. And until the next one, we'll see you later.